All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple weeks since I've been able to get out here and get a video. So what we're going to do here today is we're going to do just a quick overview of what we have out here growing in the garden. Then we have some work to do because it's time to change out some plants, make room for some new ones. So we're going to start right here with this small pot. And in this spot, we have a couple turnip greens growing, as well as one broccoli and a couple tomatoes that we took out and started from the about 2 videos ago, when we popped off the suckers and stuck them in some soil. And that's what we have here just in a few weeks. This plant here, it's doing okay. Here in this bed, we have quite a bit of broccoli. It's growing very well. We don't have very big bulbs yet, and that's okay because right now I'm mainly using the tops off of the broccolis. I will use the bulbs once they develop. Also in this bed, we have one of those wonderful little wild cilantros growing right there. We always seem to have something growing where it wants to grow. Sometimes we allow it. Here we have some more of the curly leaf kale that we use in our smoothies. Don't use that too much in salads because it's pretty fibrous. Some more of the dinosaur kale, blue lacinato, with however you know it. This is one of the kales I mainly use in the smoothies. Let's see if we can grab that little ladybug right there. Yeah, we did. We have a pretty decent ecosystem here. We really don't have a lot of pest pressure because our ecosystem is pretty balanced, as well as the health of the soil. But you see a few holes in some of this, and that's simply because it's planted pretty densely, and every now and then we do get some bugs come in and try to have a meal, but the plants are too strong, too healthy for them, and most of the time they leave them alone. A couple weeks ago, I had to take a trip to Georgia. Mother-in-law wasn't doing so well, so we went to see about her. And while we was up there, I grabbed a few things. These are different berries that we grabbed. Some currants, red and black currants, as well as a hardy fig tree. But this is not the Chicago hardy. I forget what name it was, but it was some type of hardy. All right. Also looking at this bed here, we have some red Russian kale. And as you see, a little bit more of the dinosaur kale and the curly leaf kale. Here we planted this bed out, expecting to have more winter with some mixed lettuces. And they're growing, but they're probably going to end up coming out because we are definitely in our springtime. We're not going to have the consistent colds anymore. And it caught me off guard because we never really did have a winter. We had a few days of cold, and that was it. Well, we should have a few weeks of cold. Matter of fact, I shouldn't even be out here right now. It should be too cold for me to be out here. But it is what it is. And when you don't plant at the right time, this is the kind of things you have. We have an immature broccoli plant here that has a head of broccoli on it. That shouldn't be. The plant should be putting off leaves and growing big. This one here doesn't quite have a broccoli head on it yet. Neither does these last couple here. But gardening, there's always surprises. What I'm trying to figure out myself is, how in the world did I plant these broccoli plants the same day that I planted these broccoli plants? These are simply in a bucket, and the only real difference is This bed mixture is not as acidic as the bucket mixture, because this bucket mixture is what was left over from planting all of the berry plants. They like a much more acidic soil, so there's a lot more sand, a lot more peat moss in those, and that's the only real difference. They're not even 3 feet apart, and those plants are so much bigger than the plants in the bed. So next year, when I get a chance to plant some more broccoli, I definitely will be trying to plant it with more acidic soil and see if that was the difference, because everything else was the same. The concept of this garden right here we're trying to do is make this a fun place to be. And that's why I have so many of these berry plants sitting around right now getting stronger. So we're planting them out in some decorative pots once they get a little bigger. And we like people to be able to come out here and just simply eat some berries fresh off the plant. Or over here in this bed, where we have strawberries. Right here we have a whole row of stevia. And if you haven't tried it, it's a really wonderful sweet treat. It is what they make the sweetener out of. It's just a process that they do to make the sweetener changes the flavor, versus just pulling off a leaf right here, eating it, and tasting it that way. Here we have more berries planted out in this bed. Back behind the berries, we have 2 tomato plants. And these are a small, very sweet cherry tomato plant. Here's one of the berries you just haven't put in the ground yet. We have more strawberries in the pot that we haven't gotten to. I say right now it's really hard for me to get out here and do anything because of my health. Most days I'm hurting too much even simply to walk around out here in the yard, in the garden, to do what I need to do. Other days is a bit better. Over here we have a little staging area. And what we have here is some more eggplants. These are actually full size eggplants. They're not the miniatures. On the second shelf, we have a couple different peppers as well as tomatoes. And this is the little starts we have that'll be going in as soon as I can get to it. Here on the bottom shelf, we have several more pepper plants. We tend to try to grow a lot of peppers around here. Oh, that's my little tamarind tree as well. We haven't got any fruit off of it yet, but we're hoping by next year we will. Here's some more little peppers that we'll come out here and eat right off the plant when we can stand them, or we'll use them for hot sauce. More likely to be used for some type of hot sauce or some type of dish like that. Here are these tomatoes. These all are cherry tomatoes. I think these was the Sun Gold. Sun Sugar. We didn't even have the Sun Gold this year. It's Sun Sugar this year. We'll probably do some more Sun Gold this year as well. And once again, just another pepper plant with some small peppers on it. If we can't find 1 or 2 of those peppers. Yeah, it's just really starting to make some little peppers there. Here's another one. A few little peppers. This pepper plant here, this is supposed to be mammoth jalapeno, but they did not get very large. But this is still the first crop, so maybe next time they will. This one I have here, this is a habanero. And I don't know about for you guys, but for me, the first flush of peppers, they're never really that hot. Make no mistake, they do have some kick to them, but they're not what you expect habaneros to be. But by the time we pull all of these off, which will probably be done today, by the time we take all these off, for that next bloom finish flushing out and matures, those rascals probably be good and hot. Here we have another jalapeno. I like to take them while they're green, or maybe just starting to slightly turn red. I think the flavor is much better while they're green than when they ripen. Over here we have another habanero. It's a little bit different kind. And as you see, we do have some mature peppers on this plant. My daughter liked the way it looked while it was leaning over, so we're going to grow this one not straight up. We're going to keep it leaning over. Here it has a whole new flush of growth on it. So we'll take these right ones off and let those continue to grow. All right, continuing on. Here in this bed here, we have a few cabbages. We also have some green kohlrabis, or actually consider white kohlrabis, even though they're green. Here we have rainbow Swiss chard. A couple of them like different colors. I expected them to really outgrow everything else, but instead of outgrowing it, pretty much grow that pace. But being that we're small ladybug nymph right there. But what caught my attention is over here on top of these rudabakers, we have some powdery mildew. And every gardener knows once you get powdery mildew, it's time to remove whatever is infected with the powdery mildew. If you want to try to treat it and everything else to keep your plants growing, more power to you. But for me, I simply take it out, add more soil, and replant. If I want to replant the same thing, I will. But this time, it's time to move on. I may give a few rudabakers another try, even though it's going to get hot rather quickly here. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. Talking about plants that love to grow, just pop up and grow where they want to. Here's another cilantro. There's no reason to be here. But not only do we have cilantro on this bed that's not supposed to be here, that wasn't planted, we also have a ground cherry. And it just happens to have a few small cherries on it. That's another one of those little fun foods that we try to plant out here that anyone can come out here and get at any time. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, I forgot to show you that we do have ground cherries in this box right here as well. That's actually multiple plants. I will be spreading them out so that they can go ahead and grow. Coming back over here, all you guys have seen that's watched the video has seen this box here that has the mustard greens in them. But they have all of a sudden bolted. They're going to seed. And some of them have powdery mildew on them. And I'm sure it just comes from this right here because we've never had a problem with powdery mildew here in the front yard garden. We're not going to worry about it though. We're simply going to deal with it and keep moving. We're going to keep growing. Keep growing. The only disappointing part about this is they bolted and went to seed. It changes the flavor, so I probably wouldn't eat them anyway. But I come out here probably twice a week, pick me a couple of handfuls, take them in the pan, put them in a pan, saute them down, and have at them. I grew up eating collard greens. That's my main green. But now I prefer mustard greens over all others. Here also, one of the little fun things that we have a Suriname cherry. When I was a youngster, we had these all over the neighborhood. It was nothing to walk down the street and pick several handfuls of them and just keep on going. No one say anything to you because that's just the way we did it. They say they're invasive in South Florida, but we don't have very many around here in Central Florida anymore that I see. but I'm not out walking like I was when I was a kid either. So, but I'm glad to have them. Okay, let's get over here to the cabbage patch. A video I made, but I never did get edited and released, was when it came out and took the additional leaves off the cabbages. Talked about the kohlrabi here, the growing condition and everything else, and that I was going to add some compost and fertilizer and add it to this bed once I got all the leaves off and got it where I needed it to be. But as you can see, there's a few cabbages missing because we've eaten them. We've enjoyed those cabbages. There's a large kohlrabi missing that was right here. First time eating a kohlrabi. I have not cooked it yet, but I did take it and slice a few pieces off and eat it raw. And it is something I will grow more of. It was enjoyable. I think once I figure out what dish I want to make with it, it'll be just fine. So if any of you know a good recipe for it, shoot it down in the comments for me. It'd be appreciated. Okay, we're about to get close to wrapping up this part of the video. Here we have some things going to seeds, which is just, we're not even gonna worry about these. They should have been done. There's some watermelon radishes as well as some regular red radishes. They never really made well here in these small pots, and they've been up way too long. Here's just another pepper, because we grow a lot of peppers. This is not a hot pepper this time. This is just a sweet banana pepper, but we will have hot banana peppers as well. I'm going to let these go to seed. I'm actually going to let this one plant here, which is a watermelon radish. I am going to let this one plant here make seed. I still have plenty of these other radishes, so I'm going to take those on out. Go ahead and throw them over to the compost or feed them to the chickens. Here we have some more peppers. This is also just a small sweet banana pepper. We have some peppers there in the bed. And I don't remember what they are right now, but as I take these mustard greens out today or tomorrow, it will get more sun and we'll be able to grow the way it needs to grow. Right here on this portion right here, on this trellis, now it's time to plant cucumbers. I have 6 cells of cucumbers from the big box store, so we're gonna go ahead and put those in. And then when we start working the side yard garden over there, if I can, on the back trellises, on the arches and stuff, we'll put more varieties of cucumbers in. Right here we have the turnip greens that you saw me take out a video ago and have for dinner on that nice cold day. But the way I do my turnips is I plant multiple varieties, and once they get so large, I come in and I completely crop them down, just like a cut and come again. I take and cut them down to nearly nothing, but I only take as much as I need for that meal, which most of the times means the 2/3 of it will not be touched at that time. The next time I come, I'll take another third, and the last time I come, I mean not the last time, but the next time I come, I'll take the other third. And once they grow back, put their turnips on, put the bulbs on, we start taking the whole bulbs out. Because if you look at them now, that is heating up. That turnip there is misshapen. It's going to be hard and woody. It's not even going to, it wouldn't even be worth eating. Down here is pretty much the same thing. That turnip looks more like a beet than a turnip, but it is a turnip. So we'll be taking these out as well. It's time to move on. Garden is ever changing, and we have to change with it. Just another thing of radishes that just really hadn't done well. It's going to seed already. Over here in this bed, just hadn't got out here to take out the broccoli, not broccoli, excuse me, the bok choy. This is actually a miniature, small bok choy, baby bok choy. But about 2 years ago, we planted a purple vein baby bok choy. This is the only one that came up, so I'm letting that one go to seed because I don't have any more of those seeds. And hopefully it stay true to being a purple, even though I left it around all these other regular baby bok choys. And here we have another one of them wonderful plants that just wanted to grow where it wanted to grow. Another ground cherry with cherries on it. All right, next to these baby bok choys, just a few onions that we use for tops. But then we have a nice row of celery. It's like 5 plants there. Come out and get cuts daily. And one thing about the celery, I don't know if you guys know, but if you even buy a store-bought celery and you cut all your celery off and you have just that little nub left, if you take that little small bottom portion of your celery and you bring it out and you stick it in some dirt, if you just stick it down in some dirt and you water it, you'll be surprised how quickly the celery starts to grow again. It will grow roots, it will start growing, it will grow full stalks. I had 2 of those pieces right here. But that's the only thing that my squirrels come down and get is my little celeries. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that yet. Rascals out here getting my celery. Right here we have some arugula. This arugula grew very well here. The leaves got much larger than any of the other ones that I grew. So as you see, I'm ready to go to seed. Like I said before, I believe when you save your own seed, whatever crop you're saving that seed for, it knows how to grow in your area. And that's why I will be saving seed for this. And I will be planting these right back out because I use arugula quite often. Here is what I thought was a loose leaf cabbage, is the way it was sold to me from the nursery. Because we do try to support our local nurseries. But this is a hybrid collard green. And my absolute favorite one that I've ever had. And I've had the southern in Georgia all my life. Like I said earlier, collard greens was the main greens that we eat growing up, but it's not the main green anymore, even though this one right here is very enjoyable. Also, I'm going to show you the ugly part here where this has gotten choked out with me not being out here. This curly leaf kale here is stunted. And it's going to continue to be stunted because I'm definitely going to allow one of these, if not 2 of them, to go to seed. Because I would love to have more of these right here. I will grow this more often. Now, over the last couple of weeks, the way the sun tracks across the yard, this kale is not getting the sun that it needs anymore. And as you can see, looking at the leaves on it, it's getting a bit wilted. Some of the leaves are starting to struggle. And that's why we have a few pop holes, because the plant is stressed. But as you see, it's still not eating up and devouring the plant. It comes and it tries, but it's not able to do it at this time. The plant is not that stressed. All right. Oh, show you something the lady at the house I had to have out here. You guys tell me if I should keep it out here now. I don't know if I have to have it, but this is her pretty Easter lily. Okay. Let's see what we're gonna do now. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get ready to get started on these tasks. The task for the day is going to, or over the next day or 2, is going to be to remove pretty much everything out of this bed here except for the cabbage and the Swiss chard. That bed here, we're gonna take all the greens out of this one as well as this one, and we're gonna get cantaloupes planted on that trellis there. And I'll be back with you once we get started taking some of this out.